welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, oh, thank God. It's just a sleep story. And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with...
Elizabeth Helly.
And
I had a dream that I was compelled to tell you that this is Tyler Hymanson.
He's got to do it. Otherwise,
I have to do it.
Everyone's going to die.
There's a space equinox, but let's not talk about the aliens that we've previously established. Why would we?
Yes. Well, we are here talking about The Land Before Time X, the Great Longneck Migration. We finally made it to 10. Which is pretty exciting. They still doing the Roman numerals.
They are.
I don't know if they go past this, but we'll find out. And we have a special guest with us this week. Natasha Albert is here. She's amazing. She works at Lava Records. She is the best.
Hi.
Thanks for being
having
here.
Me.
Yeah, of
so
course.
Excited.
Yeah.
Just what you wanted to do. Talk about dinosaurs on a Monday night.
That's my favorite.
Great way to start the week. Well, before we get too far into things here, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yeah, you can send us an email to sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and reviews on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars goes a long way for helping other people find the show. I would make a sleep story joke, but Justin already did. So let's just move
It's going to just keep happening the entire time. Yeah, so why don't we hit the road for the Great Longneck Migration?
The Great Longneck Migration is here.
Wow.
Littlefoot and all his friends have set off on their biggest adventure yet. When Littlefoot has a mysterious dream, he and his family journey across the Great Valley.
We are going to see just what kind of an adventure Littlefoot's having.
Followed by his pals. And together they meet someone very special for the very first time.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, Littlefoot. Something wonderful.
I'm going to go adventure.
They encounter wonders of nature, fun, and brand new friends. The Land Before Time, the Great Longneck Migration.
The trailer just abruptly ends right there. Like they barely.
I appreciate that the trailer does not spoil the big reveal because,
I do too.
I was shocked. I know Justin thought that he spoiled it for me because I saw the DVD menu at his house, but I didn't make the connection at all.
I was thinking about that later in the day. I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't say anything further because maybe she didn't understand what that
I didn't.
meant.
I just figured it must be a Sarah song, like Me and My Dad. That's all I saw. Thank God.
Please describe this DVD menu.
It's just a list of things. It's stupid.
Yeah, it was like the list of sing-along songs that you could watch.
I see.
And she just saw this.
Oh, Me and My Dad. Oh, how funny. And I was just talking to the baby, and reading things in a baby voice. And then I was like, and then later Justin was like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to spoil it, but I still never made the connection. I was just like, oh yeah, it must be like Sarah singing about
You thought it was Sarah and Daddy Tops being like, yeah, everybody that is different's weird.
Yeah, I did.
I felt really bad for a bit because I was like, oh my God, that's actually a cool thing that happens.
You didn't spoil it for me at all.
Okay, good,
my roommates were eating dinner and I was watching this tonight and I gasped and they were like, what happened? I was like,
I also audibly gasped. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, sorry, I jumped way ahead. But Natasha, what is your experience with Land Before Time franchise? Had you seen any of the movies prior to today?
Yes, I grew up on the first one, and I'm pretty sure I saw the first 5.
Whoa.
Dang.
But I really don't have any memory of them at all. So I can say that with confidence because I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, but you definitely realized that Littlefoot never had a dad before.
Yes, I remember the first movie quite well, and I remember that that's kind of a big area that's missing. So
No mention of the dad in the first movie at all.
Right, it didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my experience with it. Not much.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a lot more than most people, I think.
Yeah.
You made it all the way to the mysterious island, even though you don't remember it. It remains a mystery.
Forever a mystery in my mind.
I mean, it's a mystery for us too at this point, honestly.
That's true. So this one starts off with some
Space.
some wild 3D animation. that continues throughout the rest of the movie.
It was funny because it was like really like they spent a lot of time 3D animating the Land Before Time title, and then it
comes
zooms
out
in and goes away, and then the Great Migration comes in and has no 3D animation. In fact, you can barely read it. It looks like just a blob. You can't even see like the holes in the letters.
I do wonder if we are now stuck with that title sequence intro for the next 4 movies.
I wouldn't be surprised. I like
They're
that.
Just like, let's spend the money.
Yeah, I liked that it like came out of the lava. It was like rocks. Like,
but also like, and it looked cool with the X, of course. But and the everywhere, the DVD everywhere, this movie is called The Great Longneck Migration, but in the title it still says The Great Migration for some reason.
Which I thought was weird because it says like on Wikipedia it says that it's known internationally as The Great Migration. So I was like, did they somehow send like, I don't know, maybe the worldwide DVD just said Great Migration, and I don't know why it wouldn't say long neck. That makes no sense.
Maybe they don't use the name long neck in other languages, like
or maybe maybe it was filthy when translated.
Yeah, but when you go into the Dino Stars and look at Charles Grosvenor's filmography, it does say The Great Longneck Migration right on the blue.
Maybe the other countries were spared from having to see Charles Grosvenor's biography for the now like 7th or 8th time.
That's true. Yeah, speaking of the talent behind the movie, we've got Charles back, but we do have a new screenwriter on this one, John Loy, I believe.
Really? Is he new?
I think, hasn't it been like, God, who's the writer? Dev Ross, hasn't it been, oh no, John Loy's come back. Never mind. He was on
I thought it had to have been a new writer, but it was the same guy.
He's been on.
No, Justin, I think you're right. John Loy went into a coma, came back, and he was like Littlefoot's dad.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, he's been switching off.
Something.
Yeah.
He was switching off with Dev Ross for a little bit. For a couple movies, and then he came back for this one. And
do you think that they just sold them all as a big package, and they were just like, "Yeah, we'll split them"?
That's what you said last time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works because they're kicking them out once a year at this point.
I mean, I have to say, I feel like maybe Dev Ross was the problem because this movie is way better than some of the other ones we've had.
Well, it's really
this
interesting.
Was a great one.
Yeah.
Blame Dev Ross. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm fascinated. I would be fascinated for someone, like Natasha, like you, who has, mostly pretty much only remembers the original, and then having to watch this one, you'd be like, wow, like, oh man, I wonder if all the sequels are like so dense like this and like bringing in these amazing emotional beats and like all this stuff. And I'm like, no, this is the only one.
This is the only one.
It's like, I was like, at the end of it, I was like, that was so emotional. I did not expect what I consider a children's movie to have so many layers and have so much depth and be so like sad. My God.
No, most of them are just like, holy shit, it's raining ice. We better run. And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's like the first one has this amazing emotional trauma of Littlefoot losing his mom. Mm-hmm. And then some of them kind of like hyperlink to that, but not in a way that addresses it with no emotional stakes.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first movies that's just like, hey, consequences of that.
I mean, if you've been listening to our other episodes, I think they go like 4 movies after the first one before there's even one mention of the mom again.
Yeah.
So
so
that's
even
the
then, it's not even a mention.
About.
It's more like an allusion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh wow.
But so we start off with a pretty hilarious opening sequence, in my opinion, where they're like, it's John Ingle doing the narration like he does, and it's the same kind of thing, like dinosaurs were so cool. But also, they were like us. They drove cars. They did this and they did that. They had to do laundry.
They drove cars.
No, they were like, he's like listing out all the ways that dinosaurs were like us. Like, they had family. And then
they ate. They slept. Yeah.
And then like, before he can finish the final thing that he says, these like, long necks in the background of this scene start to float in the air, and he's like, and sometimes they fly. No, I thought he was gonna say fly, but he's like, sometimes they dream, and then you're like, oh shit, we're in a crazy dream.
Yeah.
But the way it's timed out, like you see them start to like float, and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
It's happening.
I was really expecting him to say, "Sometimes they float," and I was like, "Where is this movie going?
Yeah.
What's happening?"
And I was like, "Oh no, it's a Scientology indoctrination video." Like, oh no.
And and thus begins the most psychedelic of the franchise so far.
All along the watchtower starts playing, and then all these dinosaurs start floating up into the sky.
It's this really strange sequence where like the dinosaurs are floating and the sky's turning red and like spiraling clouds and Littlefoot's like in neon light and stuff. Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. It's like it's the most like dramatically different thing we've seen in a long time on the movie, other than Mo, obviously last time.
Yeah.
His colors.
What did he sound like?
His colors were pretty shocking. Yeah, I can't do it. But I gotta say, so we see this crazy sequence, right? And then Littlefoot wakes up out of nowhere, and what he said made me have to pause the movie for laughter.
Oh no!
Because this is what happens. He goes like this. Let me find it.
Whew. It was just a sleep story.
And we always talk about how in the movie sometimes the dinosaurs say the real thing, sometimes they say the wrong thing, and we had just heard like John Ingalls say, sometimes they dream. And then when he wakes up and goes like, oh God, it was just a sleep story. I was like, are you kidding me? I was not expecting, I thought he was going to say like, it was just a dream, but no, they make up the dumbest. Oh God. I was like, why?
I don't know if any of you guys have the Headspace app, but I enjoy the sleep stories.
I enjoy the sleep stories as well.
My favorite is Slow Train. Okay.
I've never used Headspace.
Slow Train.
Slow Train. Yeah. That is I don't know. I just cracked up and I had to pause it because I was just like, this is too much already.
It's amazing how arbitrary and how dumb their alternate names are.
I know, and like later in the movie again, they sing dreams. They say like in our dreams, just like Eliz pointed out a few episodes ago or something on one of them.
I think that I want to give them a hard time for this. I want to roast them for this. At the same time, I think that we are the only individuals on the fucking planet that are keeping track of what they're actually conceptualizing and what they're giving dumbass names to.
That's you're totally right. You're totally right.
I was thinking, like, what do they choose to use the actual name for, and what do they choose to just make something up?
It's so random, and every single time they make something up, it's the dumbest shit.
Because the sleep story was immediately followed by the big circle, and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Why?"
Okay, here's next time we have someone on who like hasn't watched, we should do like a game of like what do you think they? I want to ask Natasha right now. So later in the movie, there's a hilarious moment where I wanted to make a GIF for you guys, but I didn't have time. But Littlefoot flies through the air and jumps through a rainbow in a hilarious musical number sequence. And so he flies through this rainbow, right? So what would you think the dinosaurs in the Land Before Time, what do you think they would call a rainbow?
Oh, interesting question.
And I'll tell you right now, it's not rainbow. although they do use the word rainbow in
they prove that they know the word.
They know the word rainbow, but they don't call that a rainbow.
I have no idea, like color light or something.
Oh, that's pretty close. It's called, they call it sky colors.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. So there you go. Stupid dinosaurs.
Stupid dinosaurs.
It's just like, why do they choose? Like, as the movie was going on, I was like, what other thing are they going to decide not to use the real word for? Like when she was like, that's a bad burn. I was like, okay, so burn is like something that they're actually going to go with.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So
Yeah, there's
totally
like
random.
specifically characters, the aforementioned aliens, they call them rainbow faces, as like that's just a thing.
Yep.
And so it's like, yep, like it almost seems like derivative slang, but then no, Sky Colors in another movie, it's insane.
And I thought, in this movie they call it the Great Circle, but I thought it was called the Bright Circle. Isn't that not right? Or-
It was called the Bright Circle. It was also called the Sky Circle.
I thought it was like Bright Circle and Night Circle, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a at one point they've said Sky Circle, they've said Bright Circle, they've said
Night Circle was always the same. I
Night
think.
Circle is the moon. Yeah. But-
yeah, I think it was Bright Circle, Night Circle, but then there was also Sky Circle. Nobody's keeping track of this except for us. So.
The fact is, circle. I mean, that's already a geometric concept.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
true.
far beyond their years. Like,
Yeah. They call them tree
Yeah.
stars. They don't even know about stars. What the
yeah.
They haven't passed Algebra 2 trig.
Yeah, well, okay, so what? Littlefoot is haunted by this sleep story, and he goes around telling people, and they're all like, what?
And he decides to do what every kid knows you're not supposed to do, is stare directly at the sun for an extended period of time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I like that he's staring at it like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, son. I'm pissed off at you. I don't know why he does that. They also stare at an eclipse at the end too. Like, y'all are blind now. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was like, if you're gonna look at the sun, I guess you might as well just squint at it, really, really pigeonhole where your focus is going so that the sun does as much damage as possible.
Yeah.
It's good.
We learned that everyone has sleep stories except for Sarah, because sleep stories are for babies or whatever she said.
Right.
Yeah, Three Horns never had sleep stories,
Mm-mm.
which sounds like she's never getting an appropriate REM cycle of sleep, and that's probably why she's so angry.
No, it's because Daddy Tops is a dream crusher.
that too.
He won't let you have dreams. But
My favorite part of this movie, speaking of Daddy Tops, is when Sarah does have a dream, she has this nightmare where it's just like one of her good friends is like recognized for being good. And she's just like, fucking no. Like, even my dad thinks Littlefoot's good.
That's
like,
the part where
fuck.
she's terrified because she sees her dad like very specifically going like Littlefoot, yeah, Littlefoot, and she's like, Dad, no.
And she's like, my racist dad would never do that.
That's one of those things that if it happens in a dream, you instantly realize it's a dream because you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Natasha, for context, Sarah's dad has been racist for 10 movies.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
and it rubs off on her, and every time she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, long necks do this," like that.
Yeah.
That's her dad speaking through her.
Sarah's
I don't-
character just made me sad in the first movie, and she just continues to make me sad. So just gonna live on.
Did you guys already talk about the brag bone?
No, we haven't talked about the brag.
So
bone.
yeah, Petrie, like they convinced Sarah to like hit this rock or whatever, and so she does it, and then she's all like sad that she didn't break it, and she like sulks away, and they're like, oh, she hurt her head, and Petrie's like, me think she hurt her brag bone or whatever, and I was like, oh, is that what the kids are calling it these days? But also, I don't know.
Brag bone. I was like, okay, that one did make me go like, oh, they have the concept of bones in this. I mean, I guess they come across bones, but
They do, yeah. They've seen many a bone.
they have decided to
They've
call them
seen many
bones,
a
I
bone.
guess.
But I think that could be what what women can refer to for a guy's penis is their brag bone.
The brag
now.
bone.
Yeah.
You know what? I endorse that.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's like, that's just his brag bone talking. Just
Yep.
ignore that.
Looks like we got a brag bone measuring contest going on over there with these two.
Oh God. So
Yeah, adventuring.
yeah, I mean, so yeah, what I was gonna say
Run
is,
around,
like,
run around.
The you know, unlike previous films, when Longneck, when Littlefoot goes around saying like, I've done this crazy, I saw this thing and no one believes me. This one, like, all the other Longnecks are like, I've had that same dream too.
In a very creepy, cultish way that is incredibly unsettling.
Yeah. And it turns out that, they just gotta get out of there. They gotta leave.
Yeah.
They gotta, as Elis said, they gotta go adventuring. Which brings us to our first song. Beep, beep, beep.
I thought it was pretty good compared to many we've heard.
I was like,
Wasn't bad.
The lead into this song actually made sense. And it was kind of like a good intro, like, you know what, we gotta go, I gotta go, and I'm gonna have fun. And then it was like, and then, it was a decent song. Lots of fantastic imagery in this one too. It's kind of like they brought back the imaginary friends almost from the previous movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one cameo during this. I don't know if you guys saw.
I sure did.
Mo makes a cameo.
It was amazing.
I messaged our guest last week immediately, like, Mo sighting in episode 10. She was hoping that Mo was part of the gang, but I was like, nah, he was on the screen for 2 seconds.
But the fact that there is any recognition of any events that have passed in the past is like such a big step always for these movies.
Yeah. And this is like, this first one too, song is where we really get to see a lot more of the, like, throughout this movie, they like ramped up the computer animation to an insane extent, where there's like crazy camera moves and people are moving around, like the camera's like circling around our characters, and we never really seen it do that before. And they're all over the place. And yeah, this is the song I was talking about where, Littlefoot jumps through a rainbow, like you do.
Sky colors.
I still think it was a pretty cute and like fun song, but it's still really random that they would sing about this. Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm pretty sure they have gone to the mysterious beyond every single movie. There's not a single one where they didn't adventure into the mysterious beyond for some reason.
Right.
And so it's kind of like the fact that they're making a big deal out of it still at this point. It's just like, okay.
I mean, there's really, the last movie was called Journey to Big Water, and there's a line in there where he's like, wow, a real journey. And I was like, yeah, we just had a literal journey in the last one too, you guys. Come on.
Every movie. Yeah.
Nothing to be excited about. Like we said, their minds get erased every movie, I think.
Oh, well. But anyway, all the kids are kind of like, oh, we wish we could go with you, except for Sarah, who, of course, doesn't want to show emotions or whatever. And then Littlefoot and his grandparents just leave.
Yeah. And
I mean, they don't even say like, oh, we'll probably be back or we won't ever be back or anything. They're just kind of like, let's go.
Yeah. And there was a moment that I was excited and hoped that like maybe none of the other characters were going to be in this one. And it was just going to be like
amazing.
A Littlefoot story only. But no.
Which must sound weird, Natasha, but we've seen all of them being like ham-fisted into, we're going on an adventure, even though none of us have any motivation to do so.
Yeah, they kind of had no motivation in this one other than like, we miss our friend.
Well, I do appreciate that Sarah's pettiness is the motivation for getting all of her friends to come out. Like, I actually think that is justifiable. Where she's just like, no, like, well, Littlefoot can't have his own adventure. I have to be involved.
And the rest of them wanted to go anyway, so it wasn't too far a bridge.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're all actual friends, unlike Sarah.
He's part of the group.
Damn.
Sarah.
It's for vanity.
They tolerate Sarah.
Exactly.
I like that it looked like they were like 2 steps out of the Great Valley, and Littlefoot's already like, are we here? Is this where we're supposed to be? And then Grandpa's like, no, Littlefoot, this isn't it. And he's like, okay, good, because I don't like this place. And the place where he said that was like the side of a mountain on a cliff. I'm like, yeah, Littlefoot, this is the place. We're here. We're staying here now on this cliff forever.
Yeah, and they quickly meet like the same kind of nondescript alligator that we've seen like a couple of times now. I'm
like assuming, like I was really looking for more callback to something, but I'm assuming that this is the same mists that we visited in Journey to the Mists or whatever it was. Because it was kind of like a swampy area with an alligator. That was the one with the alligator, right?
That's true. It was the one with the alligator, but the bird wasn't there, and I don't think anything would have
Right.
separated the bird and that alligator.
Right. No, I didn't necessarily mean that it was the same alligator.
But it conjured the idea of that alligator for me. For
yeah,
sure.
I was like, oh, this must be the same area. I was also looking for like those mice or whatever, or
and the weird ass old turtle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
anyways, but it's just an evil alligator with no personality. And they are able to get away. It kind of looks like they instantly kill it, but it somehow lives because their new friend, Sue, who is apparently, according to the DVD menu, a Supersaurus.
Yes, that's true.
I thought you were going to say horny, but yeah.
Well, I literally wrote like Sue horny.
Oh,
because-
she is.
yeah.
She so is. That scene where she's like, damn. You're tall.
That boy's tall.
That guy is so tall. Oh. And she just immediately ditches everyone.
Yeah. And then comes back later and be like, I'm gonna go off with this guy.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, she says to them like, oh, I'm gonna come with you, and wow, the one thing I wish is that I could meet a long neck that's taller than me, and you could instantly tell how horny she is. But I don't know, like, does he have to be taller than you?
That's just her preference.
Like, okay, so I knew these girls in high school who would always like reach out through their church and friends and family to find a boy from another high school that could come take them to homecoming or the prom and be taller than them because they were like volleyball players or whatever. Okay. And I was always kind of like, who cares, But it was a big thing. They had to get a guy that was taller than them, even if they didn't even know him.
Sure.
That's crazy.
I don't know. None of us are that tall, so I guess we just don't get it.
Yeah. we don't have
issue.
Supersaurus problems. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't even know a Supersaurus was real, but apparently it is.
Oh, it is real.
Incredibly real.
Yeah. And then the one she meets is an Ultrasaurus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because
they
some
were in North
scientists
America.
are not creative.
Yeah. Biggersaurus doesn't sound good.
Yeah, the bigger. Now I want to go to Colorado and discover a dinosaur just so we can name it a Biggersaurus.
Yeah,
and
then
gone with like the music words. So like the littlest one is like a Sopranosaurus, and then you have like an Altosaurus and
a Basosaurus.
Basosaurus.
Contrabasosaurus.
But it would be fun to call it a Biggersaurus, and then like the scientists can constantly be arguing about like, well, where does bigger fit in between super and ultra? I don't know. Like,
apparently it's like a full on different. It's not just based on the size. It's like a separate thing.
Scientists, please at us.
Yeah, they're both part of the like sauropods or whatever.
I mean, I'm sure the DVD menu is a reliable source.
Yeah. Grossmaner's weighing in on this, I'm sure.
Anyway, sorry, I've totally put us off track here, but they continue adventure.
You know what? She wants a taller lad. She's entitled to it.
Yeah, well, she's a dinosaur. She doesn't have much time left. I'm sorry. let her live her life.
That was not the route I was going. Sure. Yeah.
They're all about to die. That's how these movies end.
Hey, no, they're not going to die. Did you even watch the movie?
They didn't do shit. Okay, we'll get into that.
I love how your argument's just like, let this lady fuck the biggest dinosaur. Yeah. They're all going to die.
She's been all over the world and never seen one taller. Give her a break. She's trying to have fun. Well, I kept thinking like during this, I was like, are they all going to like Dinosaur Burning Man or like a huge orgy or what's going on here?
I thought it was going to be like a mating thing.
Yeah,
like, this
exactly.
is how they keep the.
It's like everybody put your keys in a basket.
Because I was like, that's kind of like, involved in migration a lot. So I thought it was just going to be a big old.
Or like it's a Midsommar situation where like this is how we mix up the genes so that everybody doesn't become too inbred. They're like every couple of years we have this great migration and then you pick somebody from a different
Grandpa's
so,
like
in that scenario, the old dude that was helping all of the friends would have just had to throw himself off the top of a cliff.
I mean, he kind of almost did that.
Yes, right? I know.
Grandpa's
Spoilers
like
for Midsommar.
We've made it to the fuck crater.
We've made it to the fuck.
Well,
Look,
after a
look,
long,
Grandma,
long
it's
time,
the fuck crater.
you don't see any kids other than Littlefoot like for quite a while, and so you're kind of like, where are the kids? You know, like,
Well, the kids are only formed in the fuck crater.
I mean, they were being super weird about where the fuck they were going. So I don't know.
Yeah,
They're trying to
they
hide
very much
something.
were.
They're trying to hide something from him.
Something filthy.
Yeah. So they continue walking on, and Sarah, we get some kind of like repeat story beats because then like all the dino friends go back through the same area, and they also meet a dinosaur, another dinosaur who's like a hick dinosaur or something.
he's got like a mater tooth sticking out.
Every single one of these movies has some level of amnesia where everybody forgets that they've ever met anybody unique or went anywhere different.
And this is the James Garner character, right, Pat?
Yeah. Oh, we have celebrities in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's like the voice talent is high. Eliz's mom's favorite, Bernadette Peters, is in here.
I can't believe you remembered that. Have I talked about that on the podcast before?
I don't know.
Just in general.
I just saw that she was in it, and I was like, oh yeah, I think Eli's mom hates Bernadette.
My mom hates Bernadette Peters like with a passion. Like,
was there did she cut in front of her in line or something?
I don't know, probably. I think she's always just hated like that kind of like nasal quality to her voice. You know?
I see.
So
yeah,
I was
whatever.
very proud of myself because Sue came on screen and started talking, and I was like, that's Bernadette Peters. And
I didn't even notice. Like, if she doesn't sing, I can't. I feel like she wasn't doing her full on like Bernadette Peters voice. But
I couldn't place it.
You're better than me for
till the
getting it.
credits.
Yeah, I didn't recognize anyone in this one until the credits came, and then I
Wait,
was like,
so you did not recognize at the peak of his Jack Bauer powers?
No,
nope.
The Kiefer?
it's because he's
Kiefer
This is right at the
Sutherland?
same time.
Oh, this is like 24 premiered in 2001. This is 2003.
Okay.
So like this is when he's like when he is at the highest demands I think he's ever been at.
it's because he's talking so softly as this
That's
character.
true. Yeah, he does not sound like Solid Snake, which
No.
is why I did not recognize him.
He's like,
But yes.
hey, Littlefoot, like whatever you want to do, that's fine
Yeah.
by me. And you're
It's like,
like,
I was in Young Guns.
what was that, Natasha?
I
Sorry.
recognized his voice, but I could not place it for the life of me. So I won't give myself that one. But
It was because he wasn't wearing like a weird sling bag that had like everything you needed to kill a terrorist with.
So I've already admitted that I did not see it coming at all, and I literally gasped when Grandpa said it. But like, did you guys? At what point did you see it coming, or think, oh my god, is this it? Like,
I didn't think anything until he was like, that's your dad, and I was like, what?
So I will give both of you more credit than you're giving yourselves because we have talked about this moment happening.
we
in the
have, yeah,
series.
we did. We did many times, but I didn't
And
realize.
So as soon as every member of the species was having the same dream, I was like, yeah, here comes Littlefoot's dad.
Yeah, but
I was
I just didn't think they'd ever do it. Because
Yeah,
then you got
exactly.
to think about like sex and your dad abandoning you and like, who raises the child and like all these things.
sure.
So even when Grandpa was like, oh, what Littlefoot, that is I still was like, it can't be. And then when he said it, I was like, So-
Yeah, I just never like at this point now we're at movie 10. There's only 4 left. I'm like, they're just never gonna pull that trigger, I guess. I never thought I just thought it was gonna be like, oh, some evil dad or I thought it was gonna be Grandpa's son or something. I don't know.
I like Eliz that you think that like the barrier was them admitting that these dinosaurs fucked.
yeah.
Well, that's true.
You're like, there was a dad? Like, oh yeah.
I don't
okay.
think they've ever acknowledged it previously that
they
I can
really
think
haven't.
of. Yeah.
Other than a really creepy song about eggs. But yeah.
Yeah, because even all the friends, they only have one parent.
That's true.
Yeah.
And grandparents don't have sex. I mean, come on. Everyone knows
Yeah.
that.
Everybody knows that.
They just stop it. They don't do it anymore. But you're right. Every other.
I mean, that's what, you know what? If you take away anything from these 14 episodes, it's that if you find the love of your life and you get to a certain age, you just stop.
I think it's when you become a grandparent. It doesn't matter what your age is.
Exactly.
That's true. Well, yeah, it's a it's a lock. As soon as that your genes have been passed on twice, yeah, you're done.
But it's true that all the other families are single parents and they have I don't know, immaculate births or something.
And Sarah had a mom and siblings and nieces at one point, but we even see in this movie, it's just like her and her dad sleeping in an area where no one else is around.
Yep.
It's like Sarah's dad can come back and give notes to the writers being like, no.
There was a shot earlier in the movie where there were two baby triceratops jumping around, and I thought they were going to bring back those annoying twins for a second. But
nope.
they didn't.
They were not good.
They didn't.
They did not.
But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Littlefoot's reaction, I'm glad that he was mad for a minute and sad because otherwise it would have been totally fake and,
I liked that this was a super lore-heavy film because we get this whole, his dad's name is Braun, and we get a whole flashback sequence as he explains why he hasn't been around this whole time.
I went on the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria to find the new promised land.
And when I got back, everything was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I really thought he was going to say that he came upon the mom's body, but then he's like, oh, I just met someone who knew what had happened. And I was like, okay, well, I guess Littlefoot did talk to that one old guy after his mom died. But oh, well, whatever.
They just introduced the dad, which creates so many more problems. How dark did they really want to go by then having him say, I found your mother's body?
After 10 episodes, we want it to be at pitch black.
Yeah, you don't know what I had to go through to get back.
But he still said, he straight up said, someone told me about your mother and the sharp tooth and what happened. That was even farther than, I really, truly expected.
No, it was the most that the series has reckoned with the reality of the Don Bluth. I think we joked about it of this American Tale, Land Before Time. When these movies were at their best, it felt like an old animation veteran sitting down, offering you a cigarette and being like, let me tell you something, kid. Let me tell you something about life. And there's something about that I really love about these movies that we've got away from, and it engages with it in a very slight degree, but I was very thrilled to see it actually be acknowledged in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, it's my fault because they give me an inch and I want a mile because then I'm make a realistic dad. They make him a saint, he's like, oh, I tried so hard to find you. And then I adopted a bunch of kids and took care of them and blah, blah, blah. Whereas really, what would the dad have really been doing?
Well, you're just I thought you were dead. And and that could be a heartbreaking revelation in itself. It was just I just thought you were dead.
Yeah.
I lost hope.
But they don't let this dad really have any flaws. No. He's a savior. He's a saint. He never did anything wrong.
He adopted
always been looking for you, Littlefoot.
Where I don't know if this is true, scientifically, but is it a biological thing, a lion situation where the real reason the dad didn't stay is probably because grandpa was still alive and the alpha male, and that's why
maybe
the dad couldn't stay with their group?
Are you trying to blame Scar?
Kind of.
I would love to blame Jeremy Irons for this. I think he's responsible.
I don't know what dinosaurs were like, yeah.
But anyway, he wasn't out sowing his wild oats. He was out taking care of lost foster children.
Yeah.
Little dick foster children.
Yeah. He's like the Green Ranger evil version of Littlefoot. Yeah. No wonder no one wanted you. You're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's a little shit.
Shorty is his name.
Shorty.
It was funny, yeah, because they're like, one by one, all the orphan longnecks got adopted into other families, but no one wanted Shorty because he was a total dick.
Yeah, because he was a
Well, I mean, they did actually animate that he was older than all the other ones that got adopted too, and that does happen to older children in foster care. Like, you know,
that's true. That's true.
So,
but yeah, he kind of he was green. I don't know.
green with envy.
Oh!
Yeah, I did kind of appreciate that, like, he was a total dick to Littlefoot and didn't want somebody else coming into his family. And
Well, it was
that, yeah.
It was kind of interesting that they even put this character in there as like another layer of like, oh, he kind of already has another son, like, you know, without me.
And these movies have not had that level of subtlety. Like, I think that, like, the intro that we meet this character before we even understand that this is Littlefoot's dad is that we get Shorty being a little shit to Littlefoot.
Yeah, he trips him.
And yeah. And it's good. It makes the choice that Littlefoot makes at the end of this movie make sense.
Yeah, that's the real reason the character's there.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. But I wasn't overly upset by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they have to make some kind of compelling reason for the dad to, spoiler alert, not stay with Littlefoot at the end. And I still don't know if I, you know, ultimately buy it. But like, but they had to do something because they can't have him not stay with Littlefoot for any reason that could be like picked apart or, you know, like or whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, basically Kiefer Sutherland's like the new leader of this herd, but like he seems like he has a really good relationship with the grandparents, and it feels like there's no reason not to just combine it. Honestly,
I was like, why can't he make something like someday I might have to come visit? I was like, well, why can't your herd just also go to the Great Valley? Like, what? It's pretty big, I think. So
they had a sleep story, Justin.
Yeah. The sleep story said to do something else.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm happy that they at least engaged with the themes that the first movie even sets up, which is more than we can say about the previous 9 entries.
So I think this is about the time that the movie turns into a 90s sitcom theme song.
Oh my God.
That sounds a little bit like this. Tune in to Me and My Dad, Tuesdays nights.
Yeah. Frasier.
No, I mean, what it is, I mean, I know it's not actually the Osmo song. It's called The Courtship of Eddie's Father or whatever, but it's, you know, the hey there, have you heard about my best friend?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's that song, yeah.
And it's like, this song was really stupid. I didn't like it. It was too cheesy, and the singing was not. I mean,
I thought that even though I was glad he realistically was sad and angry at first, I thought he forgave him way too fast still.
Yeah.
Well, but even after this song, he does not forgive him.
Are you sure?
Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, you're wrong.
The song is pretty cheery. I think he's already forgiven him before the song.
Okay, fair enough.
He definitely forgives him at the end of the flashback story. Like, as soon as he's like, and then I led my own herd, Littlefoot's like, wow, you did? Cool. You know, like.
Fair enough.
I totally understand everything. Why you were gone and why I've never had your.
He's a very emotionally mature child. Yeah. Very, very advanced for.
Well, he's been through a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after dealing with his like bozo friend group, like he's like practically a child psychologist at this point. Like when he was like running after Shorty when he was running away and stuff, and like talking to him and being like, maybe we could be brothers. You know, I was like, wow, he's like definitely like a child counselor.
Yeah.
You know how they're like,
he's also
you and me can be friends, and you can tell me about how you feel. You know, like.
Yeah. He's also the only dinosaur that knows the secrets of the universe, as we've seen in previous films.
That's true.
That counts for a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty important. Pretty important. Well, yeah. So I don't know. The friends show up right as some sharp teeth are attacking.
Wait, we have to talk about the friends, like we cut back to them a few times because they're the B plot and they're heading the same way.
Yeah.
They pair up with this hick kind of old guy, Pat. And even though we didn't see Littlefoot and them go through a lava field, the friends do, and Pat actually gets burned by the lava, which we have never seen anybody actually be affected by lava. Like
this was incredible.
Yeah, we've seen people walk through these fields. We've seen them jump over rivers of hot lava. We've seen them sit around a crack in the ground that had lava and tell scary stories around the campfire. Like we've seen people react to the steam coming out, but we have never ever seen anyone actually get burned by lava.
Yeah, but I was like, did he just like stepped in a puddle basically, but the puddle was lava. And because the way it happens, he's just like, oh, ouch, whoopsies.
Oh yeah, it's ageist as shit.
Yeah, and he's like, we should maybe get out of here. Run, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fact that his foot continued to be injured for the rest of the movie, I was like, whoa.
It
Shocking.
seemed to heal up pretty quick though. Like it was already like his skin was growing back by the end of the.
Yeah.
Right, but the continuity of even visually showing that there had been damage done was
like a scar,
shocking in this series.
I thought for sure that somebody was going to die during this final confrontation.
Because you're not sure how we're all because you're like, okay, Littlefoot.
I assume somebody
Littlefoot
did
leaves.
Just off screen.
There's no way he leaves the Great Valley. There's no way this guy comes to live with them in the Great Valley, even though he should. And there's no way that, I couldn't think of how they were going to resolve it. So I'm like, either the grandparents die, the dad gets killed or something like that, or, I have no idea. So I definitely thought one or two of them were going to die.
Well, there's like
Kiefer Sutherland kills the president.
And I love that, we sometimes joke about how we don't think the filmmakers are all that smart or whatever, but I feel like in this fight sequence, you get the feeling that they're smart enough to know that we think someone's going to die. So there's all these moments where the sharp tooth goes to chomp on someone's neck and they move at the very last second, and it's so close that I was like, this is the kill shot right here.
Well, at one point the sharp tooth chomped on the dad's leg, and I also gasped then.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I thought he would die, but nobody ever dies like that. They die from falling, or getting buried or something. They never die from injuries, that's crazy. But it didn't kill him.
I'm so used to children's movies being so emotionally devastating that I was like, they've introduced the father. They're going to kill off the father.
Right. Yes.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that it didn't. I was almost kind of upset that it didn't happen because I was just so expecting it to happen. But no.
I mean, it's almost more fucked up that he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to go live a different life. Sorry, dude.
Hang out with my other kids.
Yeah.
It's just I loved your mom, but seeing you was nice, but you seem good. I don't know. These people like me a lot.
Well, but they do make it Littlefoot's decision, and they do allude a couple of times throughout the movie that grandma and grandpa are getting older, which we've sort of been wondering about this entire time, but they
will
take care
they
to show
die?
that.
Let's weigh in right now.
No.
I mean,
no.
I don't know. I don't think so. Now that they survived this, I think they're going to survive. So
it would take Littlefoot aging for them to die, and I don't think it's going to happen.
That's
well,
true.
and another way they could have got out of it was grandma and grandpa could be like, we're too old and tired to journey back to the Great Valley, so we just want to stay here, and maybe you should go with your friends and the dad back to the Great Valley. But I guess that's not what they decided to do.
Yeah. Do you think that do you think Littlefoot made the right decision to go back with the grandparents?
Well, okay, wait. Let's talk through the final thing. We talked through the T-Rex thing. We got to talk about the
T-Rex action sequence was pretty good too. I think I actually think it was better than the lone dinosaur one, which was my top one so far.
Sharp tooth designs are the least threatening that they've ever been.
Yeah, but there's 3 of them.
Yeah. I just like that moment. I don't remember. It must have been Braun, but he comes sliding down the hill and mid slide swipes the dinosaur, the sharp tooth. It was cool. It was very cool.
At some point, they all throw rocks and kill one of them, and I'm like, here they go again.
Yeah, and they do lots of like
kids murder.
I was like,
Well, and then there was a grandma and grandpa tag team murder too.
Yeah. No, like these kids have they've murdered at least 10 dinosaurs up until this point.
And there's shots in the movie of them like there's like reaction shots of them like looking down, making sure they see the dinosaur, the sharp tooth down on the ground, and then kind of going like, yeah, we did it.
They never do. It always comes back to life as soon as it's inconvenient, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, so yes. What is happening is that they're all in a big crater, and then they all need to like line up around the edge of the crater, and they don't know why. They just keep saying, it's happening. We gotta like go to the top.
It's like the invitation.
This whole part was so fucking weird. I don't know. It's very strange. So yeah, they're like
fulfilling the long neck prophecy.
That's right.
And Littlefoot is like, look, they're coming to help us, and then Grandpa's like, I don't think so. and I was just like, what in the hell is happening here? So they're all around and the sky is swirling with clouds, and it's like an eclipse is happening.
Then a meteor shower.
Yeah, meteor shower, and they keep like, doesn't someone say like, don't stare at the sun, it'll hurt your eyes?
Yeah, Sue lifts the two little ones on her head, and then she's like, don't look directly at the sun, you're gonna hurt your eyes or whatever. I'm like, oh, finally somebody brings that up,
But that's all they're doing.
No, they close their eyes and then they stretch their necks out. Everyone's stretching.
They kept showing these shots of like the long necks getting on their tippy toes, and I was just like, float. Come on, float, you bastards, float. Because they kept coming back to it like they're going to fly just like in the dream. They never did.
But they had sort of said earlier, like, oh, in my dream, the Great Circle fell, and this must be where it happened because they're in the big crater, which obviously we know is not possible. But, you're kind of wondering what it's going to end up being. But yeah, it just ends up being this eclipse. And then because there's an eclipse over the spot that they're at, they think they saved the world by holding it all up with their necks.
Dumb dinosaurs.
My favorite line was that Sarah was like, my dad's going to be so mad. And I was like, your dad probably saw it too.
Well,
yeah,
it was weird because so they do all that. The eclipse happens, the eclipse stops, and then they're like, it's over. And I don't think anyone... I mean, isn't it Sarah the first one who says like, you guys saved the world? Yeah. But like the concept of
they
like
just start saying, we did it. And you're like, did what?
Exactly. I was like, the concept that they saved the world doesn't come in until she says that. And then I was just like, what? What do you mean they saved the world? I don't get that. I didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
They think that by standing there and stretching their necks, they stop the sun from hitting.
Yeah, because it's like, didn't they say like the moon got jealous or something?
Yeah, the night circle got jealous of the Great Circle.
So is that to imply that dinosaurs were rendered extinct because the long necks at some point were like, no, fuck that, I don't believe it anymore?
They didn't make it.
They're not having enough kids, first of all. Like when Grandma and Grandpa's generation dies out, who knows?
Yeah, well, they're stuck in a time loop, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Is there anything else before we move into?
Well, yeah. So we got to talk about. Okay, there's things we got to talk about. Okay. Do you think? I want to know if you guys think that Littlefoot made the right choice.
No.
I think like, yeah. I kind of feel like I would have gone with the dad because in this world, like, you might never see him again.
Well, no, it's not even that. It is that he has been given mandates by aliens in the stars above to go explore the world outside the Great Valley. And he's never done it. And like his father will take him with another herd where he can go and do that. And it's the only thing that has been driving his character for 10 fucking movies, and he's just like, nah, I'll go back to the Great Valley with my grandparents.
Okay, but like I said, they have been showing that Grandma and Grandpa are getting old, and so in a way, he kind of does the right thing by saying he's going to stay in the Great Valley and help take care of them for however many days they have left, and he, in his mind, he thinks he's going to be able to find his dad later, which, you know, in this universe, yes, it technically might not happen, but it very well could happen. Like if he goes out walking to look for his dad, he's probably going to run into him.
I mean, that's fair. If you're Littlefoot, you're like, I can find him. I can fucking
also,
do anything.
For the last 10 movies, his grandparents really have not managed to prevent him from exploring the mysterious beyond at all.
No. Yeah.
So he could still explore. And of course, you know, he wants to be with his friends who, you know.
But he leaves them behind in the beginning of the movie.
That's true.
Well, I don't think he thought that was permanent, though.
That's true. It was just an adventure.
Yeah.
We also.
Anyways, I definitely see like that going with his dad could have been cool, but you know, as a dutiful Asian daughter, you know, he has to take care of the grandparents too.
Yeah. True.
Here's what I think. I think that we will look back in 4 movies' time and be like, were these last 4 movies worth it? Or should they have just had Littlefoot right off in the sunset with his dad?
Yeah. Were Grandma and Grandpa really getting that much help in these last few movies? Or was he just causing more trouble?
I feel like that this was the most dramatically resonant, that tapped into the emotions of that first movie. And I think we're just going to leave it behind in a way that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. We also have that.
Go on.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say, I appreciate that they had him sit off to the side and be like, what do I do? Like, he really weighed both options out. And I was like, that is way more storytelling than I was expecting from this movie. And I was actually very impressed with that.
And also, even though he's just a little kid, like, it was all on him. Like, the friends were like, do what you got to do. Don't, you know, we're going to sing this song telling you that it doesn't matter what you do. And the grandparents, they didn't even speak. They just like nuzzled him and then were like, you know, whatever, man.
Whatever you need to do, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think we know the real reason is because, you know, the friends showed up with a song and Braun didn't do fucking shit. He didn't come sing a song.
Can't sing.
He didn't come sing a song like "Stay with me, I'm your dad." You know.
I actually think he felt. This is my theory: is that he felt so bad for Shorty because he was like, Shorty's gonna feel replaced. So if I go, then I'm making his life miserable, and he's been so happy with this guy. So he's like, I'm gonna stay with my friends who are being so nice and supportive, which was also something I did not expect from Sarah. So that was very nice. And so he's like, I'm just going to go hang out with my friends and my grandparents, and Shorty can do his thing over there.
Did you guys get like stalkery vibes out of that best friend song?
Yeah.
There was like this one shot where they're like, they do this weird, like, you know.
So you're saying I shouldn't sing that to you on your birthday?
There's this shot like
I will cancel my plan.
The baby dinos are standing so close to Littlefoot, and then there's a shot where they like the camera spins around them, and we see like all the dinosaurs' dead eyes singing like, "We're your friends forever, the bestest friends." And I was just like, this is fucking terrifying. I don't know.
Should they just have a license to all be watching you? Every step you take.
We'll be watching you. And Petrie's like, don't make me send Uncle Toronto after you.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I didn't like about this song, though? The fact that one of the lines, Sarah says the word dreams.
See?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I caught that too. I was like, so they do know. Why not just say dream?
I'm convinced that, you know, okay, even though I think this movie is like close to their best work yet, Browerman and McBroom do not read the script.
Yeah,
no,
watch
ever.
Then these are the writers of the song.
Yeah, they don't know that they're calling them sleep stories the entire movie.
Have no clue.
Again, it goes back to my idea that they wrote a packet in 1992 and wrote about 30 songs, and then
I don't know.
Have not done work on it since.
They were like, they'll probably meet his dad at some point. Let's write a song about me and my dad. Yeah. And it will make it so generic it could be about anyone's dad.
Yeah, it could have been about Sarah.
Okay, before we go to the rating, I have one last question. Okay, I think one of the final things that happens in the movie is that Pat decides to go with them back to the Great Valley.
Right.
So
I was going to ask the same question.
Yes.
We all need to put our line in the sand right now.
Exactly. What's the over-under on Pat being in any of the other movies?
Never, ever, ever. Ever.
I also think never referenced again.
I also think that, but I kind of just want to say yes so that one of us can like celebrate if we are right.
Yeah, you should say yes because like even if we see
place money on the long odds.
if we see if we see like a dinosaur in the background with an underbite or whatever, then that counts.
Oh, that counts. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll bet yes. Natasha, what do you think?
I would guess no.
I just was shocked that he accepted the offer because I was like, no one in these movies ever stays in the great. They always leave. It's always tidily back up to the.
It's not that good.
Original cast. Yeah, is it good? Yeah.
It's like a suburb of Dallas. I feel like.
I get that they wanted to like. Focus on the dad relationship and everything. But this is like the Great Longneck Migration. They're implying that all the longnecks in the world are there. But like, I guess you can't have the lone dinosaur because then he wouldn't be alone. But it would have been great to see him even for like 2 seconds, even though it wouldn't have made sense emotionally either.
But
and
he would have fucking been there. You're right.
Yeah,
now I'm mad all over again.
Annoying Allie and her whole group. That was like what, the third movie or the fourth?
I thought for sure that was the thing I thought for sure was going to happen. Like that, that girl was going to come back, but
yeah,
nope. Yeah, it was all new people.
The lone dinosaur. So I guess the lone dinosaur is dead. They killed him just like that. They killed.
He's not dead. He just does his own thing. Who'd they kill?
Ahsoka.
Oh.
In The Last Jedi. I'm sorry, no, in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I see.
Yes.
She wasn't there, so she must be dead.
Yeah.
Well, no. There's a mix.
Yeah, her voice. Yeah,
her voice. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right.
trust me, I know my Ahsoka trivia.
Rise of Skywalker means nothing. That can all be erased.
Take it out from the canon. No, just kidding.
Anyway.
What about the Land Before Time canon? What if we started a petition to be like erase movies number 3, 5, 6? Like we pick like half of them and are like,
that's right.
We demand that Universal Animation remove these 7 movies from the canon.
I'd be like, we're gonna leave in only the ones that have callbacks to the original film or repeat characters.
Yeah.
Or Chopper or Mo. We want both of those.
Yeah, but those are the ones that have callbacks too. It's like,
yeah,
that's true.
So it counts. I think we would whittle it down to about 5 movies.
Yeah,
but we'll see what the next ones.
Yeah, we can debate that in our final episode.
Yeah, I have to say. But yeah, so Tyler, what's the ratings?
Oh boy, how many puddles of hot lava would you stumble through for Land Before Time X? The Great Longneck Migration.
I've been trying to figure out how many puddles I want to go through because originally I was like, I think it's going to be 6 puddles, but then I was like, it's still not a great movie. It's still not a great.
It's a brief reprieve.
But I'm like, it's a pretty good Land Before Time movie. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it at 6. I'm gonna give it 6 because I don't want to go higher than that because that makes it seem like it's this is a movie you got to see if it's a 7 or 8 or something.
So I rate them all like
Well, that's
to
how
each other.
I personally feel.
Okay, fine.
But I will have to say that I think last week when we were like. The next movie is called The Great Longneck Migration. I think we were all like, oh, God, that sounds like the most boring movie we could ever think of. It's not a cool title like The Mysterious Island or The Big Freeze. But,
no, none of us thought that would be the one that Kiefer Sutherland showed up in.
I mean, I don't even care if it was Kiefer Sutherland, but we didn't know, we had no idea that this was going to be the most lore-heavy, emotional stakes movie that we've had in almost the entire sequel series.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is really good. Honestly, yeah, I guess if someone was like, I really want to watch one of the other ones. Because I really love the original, I would say this is probably a good one to go to, and it would make a lot of sense to just cut right to this. There's no other backstory you need to know other than the first film,
right?
And yeah, the emotions are pretty well done. I still think another part of my scoring is that like the movie's really held back by the songs. Like we don't need the songs, and the songs that are there are still pretty bad. So I don't know. Six puddles of lava.
I tend to do the scale more on like relative to this series, and I think I gave the original a 9, or maybe even a 10. But so I want to give this one 7 puddles of lava because I honestly think that like objectively this is probably the best one since the first one. Even though we all love Tromper and everything, like as a movie, like this is the one that has like the most depth, the most lore, the most emotional consequence, and the songs, like even though they are still pretty bad, like they are way better than a lot of what we've had. And at this point I think you have to have them. Like, yeah, I agree. We probably don't even need them, but it's some sort of contractual thing that they probably have to put songs in. So if you're going to have to put songs in, like these are some of the best that work that Bowerman and McBroom have done in years. Now, unless they wrote them all at once, and this happy movie just happened to get the luck of the draw in picking 3 slightly better ones. And yeah, the dad one is pretty lame, but I thought the Adventuring and the Friends one were both like actually somewhat nice songs. And the Adventuring is actually catchy. Like I can still remember the tune, which is very rare for these songs. So yeah, that's me.
I'm going to go 7. I think that what you just said is absolutely correct in that you could skip 9 movies, watch the first one and watch this one. I think that the emotional stakes are higher. It moves things forward in a way that is great. And the musical aspect of it is something that feels so shoehorned into this one. And it's not a part of the first movie and does not need to be a part of this movie. They're there. I almost want to like judge the movie without the songs being even considered. That being said, I feel like that some of the animation magic is gone. I feel like that maybe we've been ground down by like seeing the B plot of what all of the crew can be up to, because all of that can be pretty tedious at this point.
Mm-hmm. They literally just repeat stuff in this.
Yeah, we've seen worse, but I don't think there's anything inspired going on there. That being said, just the fact that it's reckoning with the emotional stakes of what happened in the first movie. I think this is a 7 puddles of lava to stumble through to enjoy these 3 songs.
Natasha, what about you?
I am someone that gets very emotionally affected by movies. It's almost like I don't even really see it happening. I'm just like feeling it happening. So I hear what all of you are saying, but I would give it an 8.
Whoa.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
I think it just touched on so many things that no movie like really likes to touch on, and it kind of would make things relatable for a more broader audience, I guess. Like the whole just adoption concept is like something that's not often talked about, and like the abandoned father that's reemerged. Like, what is it? I can't even believe the things that they've brought. So I give it a solid 8 for even going there and doing it. What I imagine is well.
Yeah.
Right. The 2 things I want to bring up before we end. One thing that was part of the first movie, although not songs in the story, they did have a credits song with an aging female legendary diva, and this one brings it back. It has
hell yeah,
Olivia Newton-John singing the Friends song over the end credits, which was incredible, even better than Donny Osmond in the last one.
Yeah, there's actually, you can look up on YouTube, there's actually like a video for the song, and it's like footage of her recording the song in the studio and stuff.
Is it as good as the Dolly Parton with the baby Beethoven dogs?
No, yeah, that one's better.
Okay.
That one's better. But yeah, I was shocked again that they had another big celebrity for this, but I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I hope they keep that up. I really do, because I enjoy it. The other thing is Child Star Check-In. I did Thomas Decker dirty last episode, and I forgot to notice that was actually his last foray with us as Littlefoot. And what he's up to now is still acting. He obviously was John Connor in the Sarah Connor Chronicles on Fox, and then he was one of the lead guys in that show The Secret Circle on CW for a while, and he's still doing films. Oh, he was in never mind. He played a character named Klaus. He wasn't in Klaus. Okay, anyways, he's still acting. And then this movie
Santa.
Yeah. In this movie, we get a one and done Littlefoot once again. And I think the reason they always have to change Littlefoot, but they keep the girls, is because the boys' voice change and then they got to get rid of them. But the girls are still the same. We still have Aria, Noelle Curzon, and Andy McAfee as Sarah and Ducky, and then Petrie's been a man this entire time. But anyway, Medlock is Littlefoot in this movie, and he did a bunch of other voice work, including Clone Wars, which we already mentioned. And then he is still a digital creator. He went to Berkeley Law, or no, he's in Berkeley Law right now. Will graduate in 23. He is a level 2 cat dad and a dungeon master at heart, according to his Instagram.
Wow.
Bio.
I did think that his voice sounded kind of weird in this one because it was a different character.
It was a different guy, yeah. And this guy will not be back for the next one either. So we'll have a new Littlefoot again. So yeah, that's the Child Star Check-In. Sorry for messing up last week.
Oh no,
New
that's
foot.
Right. Yeah, one of the other things that was interesting about this movie on Wikipedia was that it said that the film was subject to a massive marketing push for Universal, and they did like an entire 15th anniversary promotion between the 9th film and the 10th film. Okay. And part of me was like, yeah, I wonder if the motivation for, trying to make this an actual good movie was purely love of the franchise and trying to do a good job, or if it was more just a cash grab, hey, it's the 15th anniversary, why don't we actually try to put some thought into this one and make it have some emotional stakes.
That's true. I mean, it's a good marketing move, because I don't know if they were thinking this far ahead, but yeah, if you're celebrating the 15th anniversary of the first movie and you say, hey, we've got I'm sure you didn't realize there were all these sequels, but we've got a new one right now that's going to directly address the question you've all always wondered, where the heck is Littlefoot's dad?
Yeah.
Where is Jasmine's mom? What happened to Belle's mom? All these things you've always wondered.
I just want to know
who's the teacup boy.
Who's the teacup boy? I just want to know. It says they had Land Before Time events at Universal theme parks, and I just want to know what those were.
Yeah, me too.
Just your dad's dead.
Yeah, they
enjoy Waterworld.
They had events where they reunited orphans with their dad. That'd be messed up.
It's just oh, are you this kid's mom? All right, well, we're just going to take you back over here. Don't worry about it. You're going to ride the Jurassic Park ride for no reason.
Well, okay. Well, look, since the Stone of Cold Fire in 2000, we have been getting one sequel every year. But for the next one, they take a year off. They're like, oh God, we blew all of our ideas. We need to take a break. Come back 2 years later with The Land Before Time 11, Invasion of the Tiny Sauruses.
Oh, fuck off.
So that really sounds
fuck off. God damn it.
That really sounds like it's gonna be a high quality emotional story.
I mean, are they just lizards? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, what's the
this
deal?
one
Is this
did not address the aliens. Is this next one gonna address the aliens?
No.
Is this some sort of Gulliver's Travels bullshit we're gonna see in this?
God.
Well, no, the invasion implies that they're coming into the Great Valley.
That's true. Not that Littlefoot is invading their territory on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it sounds like it's gonna be pretty goofy. There better be song about being real tiny.
I was kind of holding out hope that after, we're at 10 and it's like, okay, there's 4 more. Maybe that the best we could hope for this series is that it starts assembling a great narrative and they got canceled before its time. But boy, does that not appear to be the case.
Hey, you don't know. We all thought Great Longneck Migration sounded like a piece of crap. So
That's true. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe the tiny sources.
The tiny sources could be, Littlefoot's children. You don't know.
I'm placing my bets on that they're just lizards and evolution is happening under them.
I hope so.
Yeah, I need an explanation for the tiny sources immediately. We'll find out soon.
A scientific explanation.
We'll
right
find
next
out
to
pretty
Charles
soon.
Grovesender's bio.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, so also on the DVD, there were no games this time. There was sing-alongs, a read-along story, and then our favorite bios.
It was like they condensed the film into 13-minute storybook for children. I didn't watch the whole thing because it was too boring.
Yeah.
But bring back the games. They better bring back the games.
And the dead link to the Jurassic Park Institute.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Natasha, thanks for being here with us this week. I hope you had fun.
I had so much fun. That was fantastic.
You picked a good one to watch. This was you lucked out, honestly. You never know.
Number 10. If they went hard for number 10, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Maybe they should have stopped. We'll find out next time.
I feel like they should have.
Before we go, though, Natasha, is there anywhere people can follow your stuff online?
Oh, yeah. If you're into cat pictures, that's pretty much all I post about is my cat. But at Toshi11K.
What about Lava Records? They have an Insta?
Lava Records, yes. It's Lava Records official. I'm pretty sure is what that is.
That's it. Look it up. If it's a different record label, don't follow it.
Yeah,
if you want social media manager,
if you want exquisite cat pictures or amazing posts about music, there's 2 posts. There's 2 accounts.
Dude, pick one. You're gonna like one of them, maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna like one of them.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, not everyone should be able to just rattle off that they're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights, or that they could be emailed at sequelrights@gmail.com.
Exactly.
Or that you can find me starring in episodes of Monsters.
I play the voice of Tyler
Monsters at Work.
Tuskerman.
I'm Tyler on Monsters at Work, and please.
You're about to get sued by Ben Schwartz.
Yeah.
Benny Schwa?
This guy's an original jokester right here. Real jokester. Well, yeah. What, Tyler? Eli's already secretly did her thing. Did you? I thought you were going to do your thing.
And please rate and review us and give us all the sky circles that you can find. I think the Apple Podcast Store limits us at 5, but
You can create new accounts and just give us more stars.
Yeah, you can just give us more. Let us know who you would want to voice your Brontosaurus dad. Kiefer Sutherland's a good choice.
Yeah, his name was Braun. Get it?
His name was Braun.
LOL. LOL.
I don't know. Actually, let's go around. If you had to have your long lost Brontosaurus dad, who would voice them for you?
Do they have to be our same ethnicity?
Patrick Wilson for me.
Terry O'Quinn.
Terry O'Quinn.
Oh.
Liam Neeson.
Oh.
I was going to say Liam Neeson, but I was like, he's white. I guess I'll say Jimmy Smits.
Nobody wants Sean Connery.
Oh, somebody does. I'm sure.
Somebody does.
Yes, give us your Lambert.
Give us your sky. So, ha ha ha.
I'm your dad.
Yeah. Give us your sky stars. Let us know who would be your Brontosaurus dad, or Daddy Tops. Honestly,
Daddy Tops. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for Daddy
Still
Tops.
waiting.
I love how we referenced that this entire episode, explained it to Natasha, not at all, and we're going to close out the episode.
That's fine.
As if it was a thing, because it is.
She doesn't need to know.
Makes sense to me.
Oh, God. All right. We'll see you guys all next week for Invasion of the Tiny Sauruses. I'm just assuming that's what they sound like.
That's how they're going to talk.
That's exactly how they're going to talk.
See you guys.
Sometimes friends have to leave. It's sad but true. But this I do believe, they stay a part of you. And if you go away to live some other place, I will think of you each day and see your smiling face, and I will always be your friend, no matter where you are, just around the bend, or very, very far, wherever you will go, when you reach your journey's end, no matter what, I'll always be